Hello, community, and welcome. This is Kira. Let me do a quick introduction for people who are just joining this channel. I am a lawyer, I'm a criminologist, I'm a counselor, and I'm a social worker. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to read some inspirational writings, and then I'll bring out some issues in the writings for discussion. And so, the writings or the poem we're going to read today is titled, it's from this book. Let me show you the book, Inspirational Writings and Poems. I wrote this book. If it's not clear, if it's not visible, I would show it at a later time when it will be available so that we can read it together and brainstorm and, discuss it together. So it goes, look at the life of this woman, the perfect wife, the perfect lover, the perfect mother. She has it all: a beautiful home, her husband, her children, and her dog. How she is envied by the world. She wears nice dresses and designer glasses. She's beautiful and looks lovely. Lucky woman. She has it all. How she is envied by the world. Her family is her world, her life, and her all. She has no friends. She makes sure that all is well at home. But I ask, is all really well at home? Is all well behind closed doors? She depends on her husband, her lover, her partner for her every need. She is financially and emotionally unable to care for her breed. Shh, no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. How she is envied by the world. She wears her designer glasses to hide her bluish reddish eye. The bluish reddish eye, which is the result of an argument with her lover who forces her to be intimate with him, her lover who becomes her abuser. Then there is the obligation, the compliance. She feels the need to be violated. When he hits her, it is excusable and justifiable in her books. I must have caused him to be mad. I must have made him sad. I caused him to be bad. She stays with her abuser, her violator, her partner, her lover, her protector. She's miserable, she is sad, she is unhappy, but shh, no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. How she is still envied by the world. This is the book again. If it's not clear, I'll show you at a later date. Okay, so we have read that poem. Now let's see how we can discuss some form of violence or domestic violence within the family. So I want us all to be cognizant and always aware of the impact of domestic violence in the family. So we say domestic violence is violence that exists within the family environment, within the nuclear family, the mom, the dad, the children, and people who reside with the family. And many times, family members experience abuse, including different forms of abuse. It could be physical abuse, it could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be sexual, and it could be neglect. Yes, neglect is also a form of abuse. So let's look at the example, for instance, where there are two parents in the household. Mom is an alcoholic, dad is a drug abuser, and they have a 12-year-old daughter. And the daughter does not eat in the mornings before going to school. She's not supervised by anybody, and she's able to go to school, looking unkept. And so this is some form of abuse by the parents. So neglect is also a form of abuse. So many family members keep quiet about such abuse and say nothing about the situation, whatever form of abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, financial, sexual, or neglect. A lot of family members keep it moms. They keep it quiet. And many people say that talking about abuse is like you're washing your dirty linen in public. So what do you think of that? Do you think that people should just be quiet in abusive situations because it's going to embarrass the family? Let me know in your comments, in the comment section. Let me know what you feel. Other people feel shame, a sense of shame. They're embarrassed to tell anybody that they're in this abusive situation. So they themselves will not even want to talk about it. And so they don't seek for help. But there is always help. Always find somebody you can talk to. Don't be quiet about abuse. So if you're in such a situation, like I said, do not be quiet about abuse. If you're quiet, you're empowering your abuser. You might think you're helpless, but find someone. It could be another family member that doesn't reside in the house. It could be your, very good friend. It could be a counselor. It could be a colleague at work. Just make sure you tell somebody about the situation you're undergoing. And abuse can affect family members, not just the victim. It could affect the children. If, for example, mom is the victim, that abusive situation can also affect the children because they're seeing dad battering mom on a daily basis, or hitting mom, or being very mean to mom. Abuse, like I said, is not just physical abuse. It could be emotional abuse, it could be financial abuse, and other forms of abuse. So this can affect the children's health and welfare and well-being also. So it can have a negative effect on the child's education, social life, and psychological effects also could, be experienced. For example, a child could start isolating herself. Once the child realizes that, the home is getting tense and there's tension in the environment, that child might just go and sit in her room and doesn't want to talk to anybody. That child can start suffering depression and might be anxious about situations. So we want to ensure that somebody is aware of the situation in the household. It can also affect the self-esteem or the self-worth of the victim herself. It can also lead to isolation and loneliness of the victim or of the other family members that are not being abused directly. So this is some form of indirect abuse on those who are not being attacked directly. So if mom is being beaten, being hit by dad, on a regular basis, or even if it's, a few times, the children in the household are seeing that, and they are emotionally affected. I mean, they would start, being unhappy in the household. They could start suffering depression themselves. So the victim is not the only person that is affected in this situation. And then also, victims can seek love and acceptance in the hands of strangers who could even be more dangerous for them. They might be finding love and finding some comfort and fall into the wrong hands. And that's very dangerous also. So let's look at some signs of abuse or violence. Some signs would include a situation where you observe broken skin of the victim. The victim might have a broken skin, like welts on the surface of the skin. It could be actually a broken arm. It could be scars on the face. Remember the inspirational writing I just read, where the victim was wearing sunglasses to hide her trauma, to hide the bluish reddish eye. So that's a form of abuse, and that's something you would know or notice. So we also have victims who wear long sleeves to actually hide the injuries on their body. For example, say it's in a country where it's a humid or a hot climate, and then that victim wears long sleeves all the time. So that could be something to take note of. Also, there might be a situation where you have guests in the household, and there's mom, there's dad, and the children, and the visitors or the guests are all sitting with the family. Mom might be apprehensive and she might not want to join in the conversation out of fear of being embarrassed by her husband, who might shut her up. So she might just be isolating herself. That's another form of abuse, and something we could notice. The victim may also be self-destructive. The victim can zone out, because of the unhealthy situation in the household. They might just create a world of their own. The victim may also lack concentration and may not be able to focus. They may become very fidgety. So we must always be sensitive to victim situation. Some people, to the victim's situation. Some people would say, "Oh, why don't you just leave?" It's a very difficult position that the victim is in. It's easy to say just leave. You want to encourage them. The statistics actually show that it takes a victim about 7 times before that victim finally leaves her perpetrator or the abuser. So all you can do is encourage the victim to seek help and be there for the victim if the victim needs to speak to somebody. And eventually, when the victim is ready to leave, be there to embrace the victim. You can make sure you continuously support the victim, okay? So do not just criticize her for not leaving. Oh, you need to leave him tomorrow. You need to have left him yesterday. Oh, well, don't tell me about him hitting you anymore. The victim is doing the best she can with the tools she has at that time. So your job is to empower the victim. Like I said, be there for the victim, seek help, and, just be there to listen to the victim when she's ready to talk. So until next time, community, be kind, be mindful, and be intentional. Thank you.